Hi, I'm Dr. Jamie Freistadt, a pediatrician from Safe Kids USA. Today we're discussing childproofing room by room, and right now we're in the kitchen. The kitchen area can pose a lot of serious risk to children, so I'm going to go through and talk about some ways to make it a safer place and hopefully prevent injuries. The most important thing in the kitchen is adult supervision. I can't stress this enough. While cooking, you always want to be sure that pots and pans are being used on the back burners and the handles should be turned away from where a child could potentially reach up. After you're done cooking, make sure all knobs are turned to off, and if you're able to remove the knobs, take them off so that kids can't go up and turn them on again. You can also use stove knob covers or guards to help prevent little ones from turning on the appliances and to prevent potential burns. Also, establish a kids-free zone around all cooking appliances and heat sources in the kitchen. Next, have a fire extinguisher in the kitchen and know how to use it and what to use it for. It's always important to make sure that kids don't go near the oven and to teach them this from an early age. As I just mentioned, establish a kid-free zone and use tape or a barrier to remind children of this. And of course, adult supervision is a must as well. In addition, you always want to make sure to never leave any hot liquids on the edges of any countertops or kitchen tables because kids can easily reach up and grab them and spill them on themselves. Also, you never want to carry any hot liquids or foods while you're carrying a child. Make sure that all electrical appliances are pushed back away from the edges of the counters and remove all electrical cords from dangling over the edge of the counter because a child could easily pull an electrical cord and pull an electrical appliance onto themselves. All electrical outlet covers should be covered when not in use. Next, let's move on to the dangers of poisonings in the kitchen. Be sure all household cleaners, chemicals, hazardous materials, and anything potentially dangerous are kept in their original containers and stored up high, out of reach and sight of children, and locked up. Also, if you have any buckets, make sure you empty them after use and store them upside down, up high, out of reach, and locked up. Make sure that all emergency contact numbers, including poison control, are by all phones in the home, not just in the kitchen. Also, be sure all medications and vitamins are stored in their original child-resistant containers and are kept up high, out of reach and sight of children, and locked up at all times. Now I'd like to discuss the risk of choking in the kitchen. Be sure that your children are always sitting down while eating foods. Also, make sure you discuss with their pediatrician what foods are appropriate for their current age. It's very important to remove magnets from the refrigerator because it's possible they could slide down and a small child could grab one and put it in their mouth and potentially swallow it, and this could be very dangerous. Or a child could choke on it, which is very dangerous as well. Put them out of reach, up high, locked up. Use a small parts tester or an empty toilet paper roll to help determine what is a choking hazard. Now I'd like to touch on falls in the kitchen. When you put your children in a high chair or a booster seat to eat their meals, make sure that the safety belts are always fastened. It's not enough just to have the tray. One very important tip for the kitchen is to make sure that all cabinets and drawers have child-resistant locks on them. Children are very curious and will surely start opening these up as soon as they're able to. Be sure to keep all chairs and stools away from the edges of the counters because children will surely use them to climb up and potentially get to places they shouldn't be into. They could also fall off them, and this could lead to injury. Be sure there is a working smoke detector on every floor of the house, including the basement, outside every sleeping area, and in each bedroom. Be sure to change the batteries in all detectors at least once a year and test all detectors monthly. So those are some tips for keeping your kitchen safe.